You may be seated. Yesterday, your campus participated in the National Every 15 Minutes program. The purpose of this program is to raise awareness about drinking, driving, drunk driving, distracted driving. We hope that through this process that you have each gained something that will save your lives or the lives of others. Right now, I'd like for our participants from yesterday to come in. Each one of these represents someone who was killed in the United States yesterday while we were doing this program. Yesterday we started with the Grim Reaper. Little silly, but the reason he was here
Is because death is always around. All of you are young and believe you are invincible. There is no one in this room that is invincible. There were many different things that happened yesterday that you did not get to see. And Mr. Eddie McCullough has put together a video showing you some of the different things that happened at different locations that you knew nothing about. So if we're going to take a few minutes and watch the compilation from yesterday's activities.
out.
Your classmate, Shanice Carmel, was just killed in a motor vehicle accident by a drunk driver. The only thing she wanted to do in life was dance, sing. She wanted to go to USM and graduate and get a degree in nursing.
Davis, Leggett, Company.
Macomb Central, Magnolia PD. Macomb Central, Magnolia PD.
Magnolia, go ahead.
ETA.
About 30 seconds.
White Red M, burgundy vehicle, had 2 occupants in the vehicle, both seem to be unconscious. Can you get a fire and rescue out here to my location, please?
Central, Magnolia PD.
Hey, are you guys hurt?
Macomb Central, Magnolia FD. Macomb Central, Magnolia FD. Need to respond to vehicle 1050, South Pike High School. Smoke showing, injuries.
Central, there's 2 individuals still trapped in the vehicle, can't get the vehicle.
South Pike High School, injuries, smoke showing. We need rescue.
Well, I need you guys to do me a favor. Can you guys have an accident? Go back over here. We're going to take care of it. We're going to take care of it. Just stand. Just calm down and relax. Ambulance is on its way. Okay?
149.
149.
23.
Hey.
Okay. Are you aware?
149.
Go ahead and notify AAA.
You injured anywhere? I'm gonna walk up here, okay? Okay. Put faces with me. Do you have any physical impairments? Do you have anything wrong physically? We're gonna do some physical squatting. Do you wear glasses?
No, sir.
Do you wear any contacts?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you want to place your feet together? Place your hands down by your side. Alright. Remain in that position until I tell you otherwise, understand? I want you to follow the tip of my finger with your eyes and your eyes only. Do not turn your head. I want you to continue to follow the tip of my finger until I tell you to stop. You understand? Okay. Place your hands down by your side. Keep your head straight. Fast. Right here. Is it?
Stay over here. See my baby.
Okay. Back way. We'll take 9 times back down line. 1, 2, 3. So we'll nice step. Ladies, I want you to remember why you're taking this test. Even with approximately 6 inches up off the ground, parallel to the ground. Bring your feet together, hands on both sides. I'll tell you otherwise. When I tell you this again, I want you to pick up one quick hit. Ready? Go ahead and face that way. Place your hands behind your back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this time she is being detained under suspicion of DUI, being impaired. We have one here. This is a fatality, has been killed. We have another one that is seriously injured right now. Macomb Rescue Fire are trying to get the subject from the vehicle. They are pinned in right now. They have to be cut out. It's not just like you can run up and get them out real easily. The door is pinned. One is critically injured. The other one is no longer with us. At this point in time, they're trying to cut the vehicle. This is a very dramatic situation. This happens every 15 minutes in the United States. Someone is killed by a hand or a drive. It's not something that happens very often. It happens every 15 minutes. To realize whenever we're in a vehicle, we go to step in the vehicle and we make a bad judgment call and we get behind the steering wheel. At this point in time, AAA has arrived on scene, trying to get the door off. Just as they did, try to extract the injured party from the vehicle. This time the door has been removed. AAA will come in now and try to remove the subject. Right now, the dashboard has crushed the subject's leg. They're having to use the jaws of life to try to push the dashboard off of the critical one injured's leg. She is pinned in right there. They cannot get her out. It's more than what they thought. The door was shut, closed. They had to cut the door off, but now her legs are pinned under the dashboard. She's losing a lot of blood, as you can tell. A lot of blood is on the road. There's a young life that has already been taken from this accident, from this collision. Always at this time, I can sure y'all can tell that the mother has arrived on the scene. She sees her child, her baby, her loved one that is laid here, that is unconscious. They don't know if she's going to make it or not. This is what goes through the mind of a mother. This is what goes through the mind of a father. This is what goes through the mind of a brother and sister. When you see someone that you love that has been involved in an accident or a collision involving impairment. The coroner's already been called. They were transporting her to the hospital. At this point, we still have one that is still trapped in the vehicle, wrong choice, and got behind the steering wheel of a vehicle and caused a collision.
Clear me a bench. Clear one of them. Miss Darling.
Dilated. I'm gonna have to get her over to the skin. Anybody see the family? Sherry, can you put her ambulance on standby?
I will.
Some bolus.
Hey, is Tyler's family
Checking
here?
your blood pressure? Yes, mom's in the waiting room.
She's got a severe brain injury. Sherry, let's get the helicopter on the way. I'm gonna go and talk to mom. Let's keep bagging. Anthony, you're gonna get our lab working. We'll make other plans, okay?
Thank you, sir. Hey, I need a plan.
Here, you Miss Collins? Are you Tyler Collins' mother? You're her. Hey, I'm Dr. Dixon. Hey, look, Kyla's been in a very bad accident, and they brought her into the hospital, as you well know. And we have done some studies on her, and she has a very serious brain injury. She has some swelling, and we have got to get her to the nearest surgical unit. That'll be University Medical Center. We'll be flying her by ambulance, and I would like to tell you that she's going to be back to normal, but I don't know if she's going to survive or not, okay? So we're going to be working hard for you. And again, a severe brain injury, and we'll do the best we can, okay?
Yes.
We're going to get the preacher in to see you while we get things going, and somebody will tell you what to do, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, very good. I am sorry, very sorry.
Is there anyone we can call for you, ma'am?
Has the doctor started with you yet, man?
Yeah.
You know, a little bit's going on. It's going to kind of move fast. We're going to have a helicopter come in. We're going to fly her out to Jackson, okay?
Yes, sir.
Is there anybody?
All right.
Thank you. Be seated.
Calls number 2014-111, State versus Abby Havard.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. John McNeil for Abby Havard. Ms. Havard, understanding her rights, wishes to enter her plea of guilty this morning.
All right. Havard, would you raise your right hand best you can? Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you Abby Havard?
Yes, sir.
You may put your hand down. Is this your name on the Know Your Rights form?
Yes, sir.
Is this your signature?
Yes, sir.
Did you go over this form with your attorney, Mr. McNeil?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm going to go over with you here today in court. If you have any questions, if you need to stop and talk to your attorney about anything I ask you, you can do that without even asking permission. It's important that you understand what you're doing, and it's important that you're doing what you want to do today rather than what someone else wants you to do. Just because you filled out this form does not mean that you have to plead guilty. If you decide you do not want to plead guilty, I'll return this form to your attorney. We'll put your case back on the trial docket, and none of this can be used against you in trial. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication this morning, afternoon?
Yes, sir.
All right. You have the right to have an attorney represent you at all stages of the proceeding. If you can't afford an attorney, you have the right to have one appointed for you and paid for by the county. Was Mr. McNeil appointed to represent you in this case?
Yes, sir.
Has he gone over your case with you?
Yes, sir.
Has he answered your questions about the case?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with the work he's done for you?
Yes, sir.
You also have the right to a trial by jury, and that includes a right to challenge the composition of the grand jury that charged you with this crime and the composition of any jury that's brought to court to try your case. You have the right to compulsory process for your witnesses. That includes a right to have witnesses brought here to testify for you, and includes a right to have your attorney confront in court and cross-examine any witnesses who bring testimony or other evidence against you. You have the right not to give any information that incriminates you or makes you look guilty. You have the right not to provide any information or any evidence at all. Do you understand those rights?
Yes, sir.
You have the right to testify in your own defense. You also have the right not to testify. As a defendant in a criminal case, you do not have to prove anything. The burden of proof in this case is entirely on the state. The state would have to prove every essential element of each of the crimes you're charged with. And the state would have to prove each of those elements by credible evidence beyond a reasonable doubt. If the state could not do that, you would be entitled to a verdict of not guilty on any charge they could not prove. It would require the unanimous vote of all 12 of with the jurors to find you guilty of any charge, but even if you were tried and found guilty by unanimous jury verdict, you would still have the right to appeal any conviction. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand if you plead guilty here today in court, Ms. Havard, you give up or waive those rights?
Yes, sir.
Has anyone threatened you or abused you to cause you to want to plead guilty?
No, sir.
Has anyone promised you anything to cause you to want to plead guilty?
No, sir.
Have you reviewed the state's discovery material with your attorney? Are you familiar with the facts of the case and the evidence the state has?
Yes, sir.
After doing that, are you satisfied that if we had a trial on these charges, the state could prove your guilt on each charge?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's look at the charges briefly. Section 63-1130, count 1, charge of defense under that section of causing the death of another with a motor vehicle while under the influence of alcohol. That particular code section carries a minimum sentence of 5 years and a maximum sentence of 25 years. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Also carries a maximum fine of up to $10,000. Count 2 charges the offense of mutilating, disfiguring, or causing permanent disability to a person through the operation of a motor vehicle while intoxicated under same code section, and the same minimum and maximum for that, I believe. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
5-year minimum, 25-year maximum. Do you understand the possible penalties?
Yes, sir.
All right. Minimum penalties of 10 years and maximum of up to 50 years. Do you understand that, Ms. Havard?
Yes, sir.
Have any questions about your rights or about the charges against you in this case?
No, sir.
All right then. Understand your rights. Understand the charges against you and the possible penalties for those charges. How do you wish to plead? Cause number 2014-111 to the charge of unlawfully, feloniously, and negligently causing the death of another, one David Duncan, through the operation of a motor vehicle while under the influence of intoxicating liquors.
Guilty, Your Honor.
And to count 2, to the charge of mutilating, disfiguring, or causing permanent disability to one Tyler Weatherspoon while operating a motor vehicle while under the influence of intoxicating liquors. How do you wish to plead?
Guilty.
All right, does the state have a proffer?
Yes, Your Honor. The evidence would establish beyond a reasonable doubt on behalf of the state of Mississippi that on May 14, 2014, the defendant, Abby Danielle Havard, was driving an automobile in Pike County, Mississippi. But at the time she was driving this automobile in Pike County, she was under the influence of intoxicating liquor in violation of 63-1130, subsection 5 and subsection 12D of the Mississippi Code annotated that while driving her automobile under the influence of intoxicating liquor, she hit another vehicle coming head on, causing the wreck, which was approximately caused by her driving impaired. That as a result of the wreck, with regard to count 1, the one David Duncan, victim in count 1, was killed as a result of the accident, thus constituting the crime of DUI homicide with regard to count 1. Would you like for me to proceed with count 2, Your Honor?
Please.
With regard to count 2, also with the same circumstances, while the defendant was driving impaired in Pike County, Mississippi, she caused the wreck. Additionally, in the other vehicle, there was another individual, Tyler Weatherspoon, who was caused serious bodily injury as a result of the wreck in violation of 63-1130-12D. And thus, because of the naming of Tyler Weatherspoon as a result of her driving under the impaired, the state of Mississippi could prove beyond a reasonable doubt she was also guilty of DUI naming, which would be count 2 of the indictment.
Did you do those things, Ms. Havard?
Yes, sir.
All right. Is there any recommendation from the state?
Your Honor, this is a blind plea. However, the victims, both representatives of Mr. Duncan and Ms. Weatherspoon's family, would like to speak at sentencing. Again, this is a blind plea. The state would request the maximum, which would be 25 years on each count, consecutive, and pursuant to the new sentencing guidelines. This would be sentenced day for day without eligibility for parole. All right. Again, proper time, we would ask that the family be allowed to speak at sentencing.
Court has considered the guilty pleas you offered, Ms. Havard, and I find they were offered knowingly, willingly, and voluntarily. I find that you understood your rights and waived your rights. I find there's a factual basis for each of the guilty pleas you offer, both in the state's proffer and in your admission to the charges. And I accept your guilty pleas to counts 1 and 2 of this cause number and order your pleas entered. We will proceed with sentencing. Mr. Byrd, you may call your witnesses.
Mr. Duncan's family come forward, as well as Ms. Weatherspoon's family. We're going to speak. If you come forward.
Your Honor, may the defendant's mother come and stand next to her while she makes this case.
Amy Martin.
And anything you think the court needs to know before it pronounces sentence?
Well, I really don't know what to say. I haven't thought about it that much as what to say. I'm the one that lost the baby. My baby is gone. I'll never see him again. And it's all because of carelessness. And your mama gets to hold you every night, and I don't get to hold mine. And it's not fair. It's not fair at all. He didn't do anything wrong. You did. I could have easily been in your mother's shoes, but I wasn't. I would give anything to be able to tell him goodbye, because I didn't get to tell him goodbye. The last thing that I got from him was a Mother's Day card that he wrote for me personally and said that he will be here when he's 29 years old, still living in my house. I don't get to see that now. I don't wish anything evil on you, but I hope that you spend the rest of your life, every second of every day, having to feel this, what you've done to my baby. I hope you suffer for it emotionally. I really do. I can't help it. That's it.
Thank you.
Since Washington's not in.
I'm not in the shoes of the previous mother, but as my child lays fighting for her life, I can only think how this has not only affected my family, but it now affects yours as well. I wish you no ill will, but I do want you to think about this. Rehabilitate yourself. Take a lesson from this, because this day will be with you forever, as it is with both of us, with our families. Make your family proud. Use this as a stepping stone to get some assistance. I mean, as a parent, I feel for your mother, because in however many years this is over with, you'll be home. And our fate is unknown. So I just want you to think about what you've done today. And I hope that this changes you for the better, as it has changed us forever.
That's all I'll state, Your Honor.
Well, it says defense.
Your Honor, Ms. Havard knows that this is one of the most difficult situations that anyone could ever be in. She knows that a mother has lost her child, another mother has had hers severely injured. But Your Honor, this is a mistake that she's made. It was a one-time instance, and she will tell the court that she has her whole life in front of her. She's never done anything like this before. She wants the court to consider that and give her an opportunity, as the mother of the victim stated, to rehabilitate herself. Your Honor, give her that opportunity. Based on one mistake, we ask the court to not throw her entire life away on this mistake, and I think she would like to also address the court and possibly the victims as well. Abby?
Yes, sir. I just would like for you to show me mercy just a little bit. I'm sorry for what I did, and I'm sorry that I took your son's life from you. But I do have a life ahead of me also. I just wish for you to show me mercy.
You want to say something?
As her mother, I don't feel like, she should go to jail. I feel like she does have her life ahead of her. And I'm just asking that you do show her mercy.
That concludes our witnesses, Your Honor. We submit it to the court.
The court has considered the guilty pleas offered to counts 1 and 2 in 2014-11, and the court's considered the statements by the victims, families, and by the defendant and her mother. And the court is ready to pronounce sentence in this case. How old are you, Ms. Howard?
18.
I realize that this was just a one-time incident, just a thing that happened and then was over. Just come to think of it, it's a lot like death. That's a one-time thing too. Happens and it's over. You have killed one person and seriously injured another while doing something that the state legislature said you should do at least, not less than 5 years in the penitentiary for each of those things. But that's not where they stopped. They set it up to 25 years, and they recently revisited that and said, by the way, that will be day for day. So you can see how serious this is. Death like that, that's pretty serious. And your sentence will reflect that. For the crime of DUI manslaughter, I hereby sentence you to 25 years in the custody of the Mississippi Department of Corrections, with 5 years suspended for 20 years to serve. I fine you the amount of $10,000. And for count 2, would you please remove her from the courtroom? For count 2, for operating a motor vehicle while under the influence of intoxicating liquors causing disfigurement, disability, or serious bodily injury, I sentence you to 15 years in state penitentiary, with 5 suspended for 10 to serve. And it will be the order of the court, and also a $10,000 fine. It will be the order of the court that those sentences will run consecutively for a total of 30 years to serve. I further order that you pay full restitution to both families for the medical expenses and final expenses of David Duncan, and for the ongoing medical and or rehabilitation expenses for Ms. Weatherspoon. Ms. Havard, your mother asked that your life not be thrown away, and it's not. You'll get out when you're about the age I am now. You'll get out and you'll be released into a world you don't recognize. You can imagine if a person's been locked up for 30 years. In the last 30 years, they would have missed cell phones, DVRs. I can't even think of Nintendo, I can't even think of all the things they would have missed. You'll be released into a strange and alien world in your late 40s, and you will owe hundreds of thousands of dollars of restitution by that time. And I hope you are released then, because I hope you spend the remainder of your life trying in whatever ways possible to pay back what you can for what you've taken from these people. Good luck, Ms. Haber.
Don't let them take me. Please don't let them take me.
While what you saw on that video and the events of yesterday were not real, the things that these participants went through and these parents went through became very real to them. Not one word of that was scripted. They got into that character. They put themselves in those positions. And what you saw was true emotion. While that wasn't real, I have a speaker here to tell you her story that is very real. Miss Tiffany Hood Jones.
Good morning. I heard some words on that video this morning, changed forever. They hit me, because that's what it does. And what you saw in that video this morning may not have been real, but everything you saw in that video could be real. And it could be you. I know, because I stood at this casket before. 4 years ago, this October, I buried my loved one from drinking and driving. He was 47 years old, a lot older than the majority of you, and should have known better. But it started when he was your age, maybe younger, I don't know. It never changed, and now he's not here. He left behind myself, 4 beautiful children, 2 of which are graduating this year, this month. And he's not here to see it. I've been in several areas of that video, as a matter of fact. I've been in Courtroom. My youngest son sits in a restitution center in Pascagoula, Mississippi today, working to pay off fines and restitution because of addiction. Drugs, alcohol, doesn't matter. My oldest son, 8 months after we buried his stepdad, spent over a month in University Hospital in Jackson, 12 hours of brain surgery. The doctors looked at me within a few hours after we got there that morning, told me that he would never be the same. He'd have to learn to walk, talk, all over again, from smoking spice. All of you that mess with that stuff and think it won't be you, all it takes is one time. The way those doctors told those parents flying into Jackson and not sure they'll make it, that was my kid. Not because of a car accident, but because of a brain injury. Doesn't have to be behind the wheel. Could have just smoked it. Happens. I know. I watched him lay on a ventilator for 3 weeks. Not sure if he'd ever open his eyes and look at me again. Not sure if I'd ever hear him speak again. He's fortunate. He's probably sleeping right now. Miss Charlie asked me to come today. If she had told me about that video and what all I was going to say, I probably would have backed out of this. But I'm glad I didn't. All it takes is one time. Believe you me, if Danny had ever thought it would be him, he'd have never got behind the wheel. Because if he had the choice to leave his children here, I'm pretty sure he would have chosen differently. Pretty sure he wouldn't have chosen to do that. And I realize most of you are too young to have children, but if you don't do something about the paths you choose today, the choices you make today, it could be you. Maybe not now, maybe not next month or next year, but one day. All it takes is one mess up, just one. And then you've got, his little girls are going to graduate this year, and Daddy's not here to watch them. His oldest daughter stopped by at work the other day to see me. Her car was running hot. Her daddy's been gone almost 4 years, and she cried her heart out because she didn't know what to do about her car. Her daddy wasn't here to fix it. It never goes away, never changes, never gets any better. That's why I look like I do right now, because watching that casket roll in here this morning and then watching that video just stirs it all up. I hope every one of you paid attention, the ones who participated yesterday. I don't know how many could have participated in that and not showed real emotion. Or I thought I was watching the script. Don't be one of those. Make some better choices, guys. There's lots of other things to do with your life besides choose that road. I don't know what else to say.
All too often, stories like this play out in this area. Too recently. Last night, during the retreat, all these guys stayed with us. We spent the night here in the Coliseum. At the end of the night, we had a candlelight memorial service to think about people who had passed away, people that we knew and people that we didn't. But at the very end of the night, each one of these students wrote a letter that started with, "Dear Mom and Dad, today I died." They put in that letter things that they would want their family to know, that they may not ever get a chance to say if something like this were to happen. I would challenge each one of you to do that same exercise when you go home tonight. You're not invincible. Our next speaker is Captain Brad Bellapani from Pike County Sheriff's Department. Captain Bellapani. This man has seen more proof that no one is invincible than anybody in this room. Please give him a round of applause.
Good morning. Good morning. We're up here today for you. No other reason than that. 2 years ago, Ms. Charlie asked me to speak at last year's every 15 minutes, and it's an impact idea that's changed people's lives, I believe. So I eagerly accepted it and wanted to do it again this year. What I'm going to do is take about 10 minutes, 10 or 12 minutes, show you a video. Ms. Charlie and Tiffany talked about what's being played. We're going to see something here that's going to put it just that much closer home to you. 10 years in law enforcement. I was in the Marines before that. I've seen enough damage. I want to see the good things. As 16, 17-year-old kids, you walk around and think you have a big escort chest. I did. I think back to some of the things that I did. I was your age. And if my parents knew, I probably would have never been allowed to leave the house. And y'all know what I'm talking about. Tiffany, I went to school with Tiffany. I didn't know most of that she just talked about. If you cannot watch that every 15-minute video, and as a parent, not get choked up and have a lump in your throat, because once you have a child on earth and you hold him or her for the first time, it changes you. And every time you walk out that door, whether you're with somebody or not, we clench up in a little knot. Am I right? And we work. And it's not that we're bothering you, we're trying to interrupt your life, we're trying to ruin your night. God help you the day that your child walks out that door. You'll have a phone that's given to you. And how many times have you gone out? How many's got cell phones? Just about everybody. Parents, how many times you text them 2 hours after they're gone? Where they at? I do it. Some even put little GPS locators on. I do it. I want to know where you're at in case something happens. You get hurt. Somebody does something to you. It's what parents do. 2 of the kids that participated in this every 15 minutes have spent the night at my house. I know their parents. It's a great thing, and we don't do it. Tell me if I'm wrong, Charlie. We don't do it because of our professional job title. We do it because we're parents. The thousands upon thousands of man hours and dollars that are put into this, I cannot tell you. And it's grown over the years. We have these things that we attach to our hip. And most of you get them because back in my day, I don't know, video games and whatnot, and when I was trying to get to 16, 17, because when I came up, you got a permit at 14 years old and a license at 15. Can you imagine that? How many of you got license? Most of you are what, 17? Right? Help me out, guys. 18, 17, 18 years old. Imagine you've been driving for 3 years. I can't imagine what I put my mom through. At 15 years old, trying to ask her baby to go get some milk and bread just to get out of the house in that car. It's mind-boggling. But the thing that we have that we're talking about is impaired drivers. Impaired drivers does not mean just beer, alcohol, drugs. It includes cell phone, iPads, whatever is taking your eyes off that road at that moment. You're given a license. If you're given a gun or any other thing like that, you got to go through classes, learn how to use it, do those things, and then you're given a registration you can carry a gun. I use that as an example. Cars are a little bit different. You go to school, you can sit in the classes, but you don't sit behind that wheel or that car until you actually get a permit. Some of you go straight to get a license at 17 and skip the permit. Can you imagine? You have people driving down the road right now, your age, that have never had one day of driving. They just got in it today. My daughter's turning 17 Sunday. She's getting her license. And I have spent some time with her trying to teach her. It's a different thing. You're given a 5,000-pound bullet and a license to go deliver it somewhere. And the last thing we want is for that to distract you. There's a video that's coming up on the show. Let me background it a little bit. We had some people get murdered, Transco Parish, right across state line. Somebody saw the car driving up 55, Interstate 55 in Pike County. They put be on the lookout for it. One of the people called it in. We go to the scene and we get them stopped right there at Park Lane Road and Presley. That's Presley Boulevard and Park Lane Road over to your left. Does everybody know what I'm talking about? So you know in your mind you've been through that area, right? Everybody been through that area? Help me out. Okay. Back, think about this. Back when you come in from Macon County, and you pass that BP, how far can you see into Macomb and Presley? Think about it. That's a long way, right, guy? If you see those blue lights, there's patrol cars. You think you'll be able to see them? Can you play just a little bit of it? All right, y'all see what's going on there, right? Suspects is in front, 3 patrol cars. That's a car dash cam from a Tahoe. There's cars behind it. So let's say we got 7 patrol cars there with blue lights on. Do you agree that you would see that light? Okay. Can you fast forward to that other one? What's going to happen, I'll go through this. We get the 2 suspects arrested. And get the scene secure, open up the flow of traffic. And we're off to the side. I'm there, my boss, a couple other guys. You'll see it when it gets caught up. All right, investigator is the black car out there with the trunk up. He's gathering evidence. There's a chief detective, myself, my boss. There's some deputies back behind this patrol car that's got the lights on. And we all said we can see those lights. We just spread out a little bit. Now pay attention to what happens coming up. I think it's around 37:52, so it's got about 10-15 seconds. There's going to be something that's going to occur within 10 to 15 feet of me, and you'll see something come out of the window. I want to pay attention, see if you go and catch what comes out that window. That's good. Let it play through. Now who can tell me what came out that window? What's that? Arms? Head? You know what that lady was doing? That young lady? She was texting on the phone. This is not that far from that. You hear what I'm saying? Don't think it can't happen to you. Every day I drive around in Pike County, I see kids on the phone. I see parents on the phone. She survived. You know what? Had that seatbelt on. So let me hit that home to you while I'm up here. Don't think that's just something that gets in your way. Because if you watch that wreck and you see that arm and head come out that window, you think there's no way. What she did. We've had 3 wrecks. It's May 15th. We've had 3 fatalities in Pike County in the last 2 weeks. One was, the first one that I can recall was impaired by alcohol. The second one was a college-age freshman going southwest that was texting on the interstate. Veered, clipped another car, went off in the median into the trees, and she's gone as well. The third one right here in Magnolia. You gotta understand, it's not that important to text, it's not that important to talk. Get where you're going, stop, and then do whatever you need to do, but don't end up like this. I don't want to see you. I want to be this, to be honest with you, the last time I see you. Now love y'all whether y'all know it or not. But I don't want to be the guy running up there holding your head while you're screaming for mom. And that's happened. Cell phones can be a good thing. Just don't do it while you're driving. How many of you by hands have had somebody in your family, friends, somebody that know, in a wreck, hurt or injured? It touches everybody. I can't take nor the teachers, nor the parents, nor moms. No one can take that S off your chest until you want it. All we can do is put the buffers out there. This is a buffer. Help you learn. I can only hope that y'all have paid attention to that. Because like I said when I first got up here, it's not about the job, it's not about the title. It's not about being a teacher, a cop. It's about being a parent. And we want you to come back home in that door the same way you went out it to leave us, safe and with every hair on your head. I can only say thank you. Appreciate y'all letting me talk today. Thank you, Charlie. And I hope you listen. God bless you.
I'm gonna share one more thing, and you guys, I don't normally do this at the assembly. I shared last night with the guys that were participants, but I don't normally put this out there. This program is a passion of mine. When I was 19 years old, something had happened, and it took me a long time to realize what I was supposed to do. When I was 19 years old, I'd been a graduate of South Lake for a little over a year, was a student at Colin, and we used to go to Hammond on the weekends. We drive down here, we party, come home. One night, this is how I almost ended up. I made it from Hammond to Arcola. I passed out hungry. I came to as I was headed for the concrete overpass. Guys, I'm gonna tell you, I've been taught since I was this tall the dangers of doing what I was doing. But I thought I was invincible. My dad was a cop for 28 years. I knew better. I knew what it could happen. I had heard the stories of the things that he had seen on the streets. I didn't think it would happen to me. I almost ended up in a casket just like this. I sat on the side of that highway all night, and I cried, and I prayed. Don't make the same mistake I did. I was lucky. I was very lucky. God woke me up just in time. And I honestly believe that that has a lot to do with why we put everything into this program that we do. Each one of us has experiences. I'm no different. Please take something home. A lot of people in this community have come together to put this program on. You've seen the law enforcement. We've had Magnolia PD, Macomb PD, the Sheriff's Department, Macomb and Magnolia Fire Departments. We have had the ambulance service. We've had the rescue unit. We've had Heartland Sharkey Funeral Home. We've got Pike County Juvenile Drug Court, which actually is who I work for and who sponsors this. We've got Mr. Brown, coordinator right here. We have Judge John Price, who sent me for the training in Pennsylvania over 5 years ago, and we have worked together to support this program and bring it to teens all across the country, all across the county. We've got Barry Honey, who has helped sponsor. We've got Andy Hardware. We have Mercedes Riggs with the Mariposa Cafe. We provided food. We've got IGA. You don't know how many people. We've got Monto. We've got Miss Jewel that you saw running around yesterday with her hair in a ponytail and a yellow shirt. That this program could not have happened without every one of these people and every one of these companies. And I know I'm leaving some out, and I apologize. We've been up and going for 36 hours now. And Kelly, Billy Patton, we've seen here doing our sound, music, video. Every one of them has done this to try to save your lives. Don't let it be in vain. Principal Davis, thank you. Thank you to our parents that put everything out on the line, heart and soul. Heart and soul. And to all my participants, you guys are awesome. You've done a great thing by trying to save the lives of others. Dr. Hartson, would you like to come up and close for us? Thank you again. It's good to be home in South Lake.
I'm Dr. Hartson. I'm a counselor with the youth program. I'm also a preacher. And I can tell you as a preacher, one of the hardest funerals to ever do is a teenager. I remember when I just moved up here, not too long ago. It was about 5 years in my ministry up here at this church I'm at. And there was a 16-year-old girl. Actually, there was 3 kids in the car. It was like a boat of children. And I believe all 3 of them died. I got to do the funeral with the girl in the car. They were using drugs. And I can tell you this. It was probably the hardest funeral I've ever done in my life. But it doesn't end after the funeral of your preacher. I can tell you I was sick for days. Sick for days. I can handle an 80-year-old funeral. A person 80-year-old dies, I can handle that. I just can't handle a 16-year-old passing away prematurely because of drugs or from alcohol or from texting. That's why I'm here today. Because I don't want to be any of y'all's funeral. Be mindful. You've been blessed, some of you lucked out. And I've lucked out in my life in doing some crazy things too. And some of you may luck out. here's the problem. You don't know which one is going to work out. You just don't know. Dear Father, we thank you for the program that we had today. We thank you for the program that had started yesterday and continued to today. Father, we pray for wisdom. We're 17, 18, think we know it all. Mom and Dad are not cool, parents are not cool. But the reality is we've been there. And if it wasn't for the grace of God, that coffin would have held us. And we don't want that for our children. So Father God, I pray today that you can give these kids the wisdom that they need, that they can make wise choices in their life. Because we know that with every choice, there is a consequence. Some consequences are okay, but some are life-changing. And I don't want that for any of these young men and young ladies here today in South Carolina. Thank you for this time. Thank you for all the people that dedicated their energies to this program. And we ask this in the name of the Lord.